Hi Virgo, thanks for tuning in. This is your reading for June 2020. Join me while I shuffle. Tune in, connect with your higher self. Ask your higher self to connect with my higher self so that we can set up a feedback loop through time and space to bring through messages that are really relevant and pertinent to you. Please don't multitask while you're watching this reading. I want to make sure that you make the most out of your time here and you don't miss anything that comes through for you. You might want to grab some headphones as well and a cup of tea to settle in with me for the next 20 minutes or so. We're going to take a look at the general energies available for Virgo, for Virgo at this time, and then we're going to pull cards from the Voyager deck for your Higher Octave spread. So let's get started. Five of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Interesting energy here, Virgo. Let's see, where should I start? I have the feeling with these cards that there's a situation that you're in at the moment which is making you feel a little bit confined and wanting to kind of like change things, but it may not feel possible to make changes around this time, or you may want to make changes at this time, but you're not sure how to go about that. There's a little bit of unsettling energy in this spread, I must say. Something that feels a bit like you might feel a little trapped in the situation that you're in, or that you don't have sort of the freedom or the liberties to make choices or to do things the way that you want to do them. You know, you have this, the Nine of Swords is at the heart of the reading in the upright position. Like straight away, they could be, look, the image is very clear on this card. You know, there's like restriction, limitation, some confinement energy. There could also be with that anxiety. And then the crossing card is this Four of Pentacles, which is also kind of like a holding back and restraining sort of energy. So that feels really challenging, I must say. And then the crowning card position, you have the Hangman in reverse, which says that you may be wanting to break free from the situation. You may not be very comfortable at the moment in what's going on. And there's more to that. I'll get into it a little bit further. But with the Hangman in reverse there, it's kind of also suggesting that maybe there's a little element of timing being at play in the circumstances. That maybe it's just a matter of time, like you might just have to ride out what's currently happening, and it might not even be about you making decisions to get out of where you are if you don't like where you are. It could be also a matter of waiting for some communication to come in, because you have this Page of Wands in reverse at the foundation of the reading. So either you are waiting for communication from someone, or you're hoping that some information will come to you that will help shift you out of the current circumstances. There's quite a few major arcana cards in this reading. All five cards at the top are major arcana. You have Judgment reversed, Strength, Hangman reversed, and then Temperance and the Empress in the outcome together. I'll get to that. It's really actually beautiful. So while it may feel challenging here in the spread, I feel like you're gonna work your magic and come through this in the best possible way. So don't feel dismayed. Just stay with me through the reading, and we'll get to those outcome cards because it's really beautiful. It's with the Four of Wands upright as well, which is also a very nice card. It's very celebratory. So I feel like the net result of all of this is going to be really good for you, beneficial, and it'll be worth whatever difficulty you might be feeling right now. So in the position of where you are, or how you see yourself at the moment, you have the Devil upright with the Two of Swords in reverse. So again, there's this feeling of restriction, limitation. All four of these cards are kind of feeling like you may be in a position right now that you don't have the resources to get out of. There might be some kind of binding. I'm not seeing any legal issues in the spread. Like I don't see the Justice card here, so it may not be a contractual thing, but that could be a relevant thing for someone watching this reading. You might be under some kind of contractual obligation that you want to get out of because it's feeling very limiting and very restrictive. With the Devil upright there with the Two of Swords, these two, it seems like, or it feels like, it may feel like unhealthy to you, or it could simply, this could simply be that you feel overworked and under a lot of pressure, and that feels too much for you, and you want to sort of find a way out and through with the Two of Swords there, but you may not see options at the moment. You may not see a way to, kind of change the course of the direction that you're on, or to change the situation as it is at the moment. Now, in this quadrant of the reading, you have two court cards, King of Wands in reverse and the Knight of Pentacles also in reverse. I'm feeling that this could be people. There's also the Queen of Swords in reverse also in the past. So I feel like there's some energy around you of people who are, it feels a little oppressive. It feels like there's pressure on you to perform, or that there could be high expectations on you for certain tasks perhaps that you're expected to complete that feel unreasonable or incredibly difficult, or maybe even in your mind impossible. And that feels really uncomfortable. It feels like some very unhealthy pressure on you, unrealistic expectations. And I feel like you actually, I'm feeling as this Knight of Pentacles in the reverse in this quadrant, being that that could be indicating this desire to get out of the situation you're in. Like the Knight of Pentacles is someone who has loyalty and consistency and determination and commitment. And seeing him in reverse here is kind of feel like you may be wanting to kind of exit gracefully, but that you don't see necessarily right now a way to do that. With all this other energy up here in the top of the reading. So this King of Swords could be a boss. Sorry, King of Wands in reverse could be a boss, or some kind of person that you work with, partner, could be a business partner, or someone that you I feel mostly this is a work reading. I'm not necessarily seeing anything in these cards that could talk about a romantic partnership, although that could be how to interpret this for someone watching this. This could be a kind of heavy relationship that you're in that feels a little bit confining. But this King of Wands person feels a little bit tyrannical, or a little domineering, or having a bad temper, or having unrealistic expectations, and maybe putting a lot of work on your lap that is maybe not even doable. I don't like that. I don't like that energy. So this quadrant here, the hopes and fears, you have the Strength upright with Judgment in reverse. This is actually very positive, hopeful energy to have come into the reading, along with this Temperance and Empress card here in the outcome. I feel that this is giving a lot of support and encouragement to you. This is your higher self saying that you can manage the situation, and that it's a matter of time. As I said earlier with the Hangman in reverse there, the crowning card position, I feel that whatever this is, there is a timeline playing out that will eventually result in a resolution, in a clearance, and in some kind of establishment of something new that you are actually already working towards right now. But you might have lost a little bit of the vision of the direction that you've been going in. But I feel with the Four of Wands coming out here upright in the outcome, along with the Empress and the Temperance card, there is going to be a beautiful resolution to the situation that will actually bring about a lovely reward. There's some kind of reward here at the end. Whether it's financial, being that Four of Pentacles crossing here could be financial, but it could be more just like the completion of the task or something, or some kind of resolution with a person where there's a lot of healing. I feel there's a healing energy in this part of the spread. There is some reconciliation, some forgiveness. There is health as well with the Empress. Is like a physical healing. With the Strength and the Judgment here in the hopes and fears, this is just telling me that your guides and your higher self is wanting to support you and encourage you with this part of the reading, telling you that you do have what it takes to get through this with the Strength card. That, it's just a reminder to keep digging deep and using the fortitude that you are actually built with. You have the constitution to manage this situation, even though it's uncomfortable and may not feel like it's making any sense at the moment. There is something purposeful in it. Judgment in reverse is saying that there is something being reborn. Like in you, there's some kind of transmutation or some kind of transformation happening here that you clearly are not really seeing just yet. But it's important to understand that there is some purpose and reason to the challenges that you're under right now, and that it will actually come to a place where it is more than worth it. That's what I feel with these outcome cards. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. 5 of Wands in reverse, King of Swords in reverse, 6 of Swords in reverse, and Hermit. And then there's Lovers and Justice. I'm going to pull those as well. So what I feel here, there's another reversed Court card. Now you have this King of Swords, Queen of Swords, both reversed, and then this King of Swords in reverse. So these could all be the same person, or it could be one person that's sort of having all these different archetypal traits to them, like someone who's difficult to work with, or has a bad temper, is a little domineering, is hard to communicate with, or communicates harshly, or is not really listening to you, something like that. There's a bit of that energy. And with the 5 of Wands in reverse, I would say probably this person is not really interested in hearing what kind of feedback or input you want to give to the situation. And that's part of what this frustration here is, that's making you feel a little bit limited and restricted in what you can do. Is that I feel like the person that you're dealing with is not open to hearing your thoughts and feelings on the situation. And that's really frustrating. Now with the 6 of Swords in reverse here, with the Hermit, and then the Lovers and the Justice card. What this could be, and what some of this energy here could be as well. Now this could be kind of like a different spin on this story that I'm feeling here, is that, especially because you have the Lovers and the Justice coming out here, what I feel is that you could be separated from your partner. Like you could be physically in a different location from your partner, and that might, there may not be any way to change that at the moment. Like you might not have an ability to reunite. Like with the 6 of Swords in reverse, like you wanna be able to travel to get back to a person, but you're in hermit mode, so you could be on your own. That's one interpretation I could give here. Another could be that if there's because now there's the Lovers and the Justice card coming out here. So now I could see that there is something potentially legal or contractual coming out here. And with these 4 cards, with the 6 cards from the extended part of the reading, what it could mean is that if there has been an inability to negotiate or to communicate, that you might be then seeking legal counsel from someone in order to go back over an agreement that was already made, in order to find a better resolution for you, so that you are, happy in your partnership or in your contract. So that's a bit of a spin that I didn't really see coming in this reading. So let me know in the comments if any of this is resonating for you. So yeah, 5 of Wands reversed with King of Swords reversed. Difficult negotiation or inability to communicate, inability to see eye to eye. With the Hermit, there could be, and the Justice card, you could then sort of take a step back from a situation that might feel challenging or difficult, the one in which you feel like you're very limited in your scope of how you can influence it, even though you're kind of quite heavily involved in it. I feel like you are almost forced here to take a passenger seat when actually you want to be driving. And so there's something here perhaps for some of you, or for one person, where you actually do seek legal action or seek legal counsel to find a better way to make your contract or your relationship or this dynamic with a person, however it's playing out for you, one that's a little bit more fair and balanced and even and whole, and one that has like just more balance and better communication and a better outcome for everybody. It's not like you're trying to be selfish here. I don't feel that at all. I feel like maybe the other person you're dealing with is trying to be selfish, and they're not listening to the feedback that you want to bring to the situation. But I feel to say here, persevere. With the Strength card, I would say definitely persevere. Hangman in reverse also, I would say, as much as it's frustrating, it's important to be patient and to stay calm and bring your most evolved self to the table with this circumstance, and be very mindful and delicate and careful about how you communicate, because I feel like you can create the influence that you want here, but you need to approach it in a very particular way. But don't hesitate to take that important step of seeking legal counsel if you feel that is what's needed, because if that's the only way to get the attention of a person or to get them to listen, then it's not even just about them listening, it's about actually getting the right result, something that is fair and something that is just very carefully considered for all the parties involved. Because there is an element in this reading that I feel with the person that you're dealing with where there is a kind of ignorance, you know? In some cases, the person could just be lacking in awareness and a little bit oblivious, but in other cases, there's almost a deliberate selfishness or a deliberate, ignorance, a total lack of regard for other parties involved. But you showing up here as Temperance and Empress and Strength and even Hermit and Justice, I feel all these major arcana cards here are actually describing the archetypal forces that you are bringing into a very difficult situation to absolutely take the highest path in order to bring about the best possible result that could occur for all the parties involved. Whereas the people that you're dealing with are actually rather selfish. But I don't feel like, even though that's the case, like I feel you're bringing with the Temperance and the Strength and the Empress, you're bringing a very compassionate energy to this environment. And Judgment in reverse is saying here, even though you know there's wrong action on the part of the parties you're involved with, you're not actually being judgmental. You're being extremely compassionate, and you have zoomed out to see the widest angle of this entire situation, and you have understood very clearly the karmic implications here, and you have resolved within you to make the best possible outcome so that healing is what happens here. It's not about money. It's not about the legal ramifications. It's about the healing and the growth and the understanding and the wisdom and the love that you can bring to a situation and to people. Even if they don't know it, even if after all said and done they still don't get it, it doesn't matter, because you know it. You know you've done the right thing. You know you've handled a situation very carefully and very deliberately and very patiently and very compassionately. And that's what matters at the end of the day. And there is a celebration at the end of it. I love it. I love this reading. It's very challenging energy. I feel that. It's very challenging energy. But with your wisdom and with your compassion and love, you will help to bring about the best possible result for everyone involved. And that's also the energy of the Hangman as well. It's about selflessness. It's about there's a Christ consciousness energy to the Hangman card. And I'm not a religious person. I was raised Catholic, so I kind of struggled with the whole religion in general, the misuse of power and all of that stuff. But the Hangman card actually is the personification of Christ consciousness energy, which is about healing. It is about selflessness. It's about compromise. And it's about just, understanding. Patience, virtue. Okay, Virgo. I feel that's it for this reading. There is no certain outcome here, but there's just the way that you can bring influence and awareness to an energetic field that you're a part of to create some kind of change and evolution. An evolution of a stagnant energy of mainly of people who have influence and power, who may have been misusing that influence and power. And your energy is karmically connected to something to imbue an energy that will help shift consciousness, to put it in a very fluffy way, but that's exactly what it is. Now we're going to do lay down the cards for the higher octave spread. Please join me again while I shuffle. Send your energy into the deck so I can get really clear messages for you. The higher octave is designed to give you a little bit more insight if there's any additional messages to send through with regard to any forces that are at play that you may not be aware of, any karmic and spiritual energies that are influencing, and any potential practical insight from your guides that could get passed along to help you understand how best to work with the energies that are at play. Let's get started. Three of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. Queen of Swords reversed is the same card that you have here. Crossed by the Six of Swords, it's this card. Seven of Wands in reverse. Two of Pentacles in reverse. Ten of Swords in upright. Eight of Wands upright. There's Justice again. This time it's in reverse. Man of Cups. Wheel of Fortune. Five of Cups reversed. Temperance reversed. Six of Cups. Four of Pentacles. You had that in the heart of the spread before. And there's the Strength card again. Interesting. So there's quite a few repeating cards in this spread. I would say overall the energy that's in this reading is it's similar to the first spread. There is a little bit of additional insight. There's some indication here of what could happen if you don't utilize the influence that you could use. So if you're interested in hearing the interpretation of this spread, you can click the link in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. I hope you found some things in there you can work with. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next reading.